Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Everest Active 4x4. Value packed with 12-inch touchscreen, black exterior styling and 18-inch alloys. All from just $60K drive away. Get the Everest Active at participating Ford dealers. Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Ranger Wolf-Track V6, featuring bold styling, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres, all from just $73K drive away. Ranger Wolf-Track at participating Ford dealers while stocks last.
Hey everyone, I'm Tommy Neil Thorne. Tune in this weekend as the Rollers take on the world.
Get what you really want with the value-packed Ford Ranger Black Edition 4x4 with bedliner, 12-inch touchscreen, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres. All from just $53K drive away. Get the Ranger Black Edition at participating Ford dealers.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Everest Active 4x4. Value-packed with 12-inch touchscreen, black exterior styling and 18-inch alloys. All from just $60,000 drive away. Get the Everest Active at participating Ford dealers.
Wheelchair basketball emerged shortly after World War II after it was developed by injured servicemen. It became a foundation Paralympic sport at the 1960 Games and is now one of the world's most recognisable wheelchair sports. Athletes who play wheelchair basketball have a physical impairment. All players use a wheelchair to compete, although some don't use a wheelchair in everyday life. The court dimensions and basket height for wheelchair basketball are the same as the able-bodied version of the sport, as is the playing time and number of players on court. Wheelchair basketball classifications range between 1 and 4.5 points. Players with a classification of 1.0 have the highest level of impairment, while players in the 4.5 point class have the highest level of physical function to be eligible for the sport. The wheelchairs used during a game are specially designed to support players and help them move around the court. During a match, the classifications of the 5 players on the court are added together and must reach a total of no more than 14 points. The object of the game is to score the most points in the opposing team's basket. The team with the most points by the time the clock expires wins. Wheelchair basketball is a contact sport. The sport is so fast that it can be difficult for athletes to stop in time, meaning contact is inevitable and can result in some spectacular collisions. While contact is permitted and even encouraged, head-on collisions are strictly forbidden and can result in fouls or even ejection from the game. For more information on wheelchair basketball, visit paralympic.org.au.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
Welcome back to the AUS Centre of Excellence in Canberra, Australia. For the last of the second day's 4 games, and it features the home team, the Australian Rollers. You can see warming up on the right-hand side of the screen in their gold uniforms. Their opponents, Japan, who they played on the very first morning. Australia squeaking home with a 2-point victory on that occasion. But in this morning's third rounds of games, it wasn't such a great story for Australia. The Spanish team running riot to beat them by 15. And undoubtedly, head coach Brad Ness will be looking for a better performance in what is this evening's game here in Canberra. My name is Brendan Parnell. I'm joined by Campbell Fraser, one of Basketball Victoria's high-performance coaches in the sport of wheelchair basketball. And Campbell, what can we expect this evening from the Rollers that we didn't see this morning?
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot more of that playing around what we know is their strength in really forcing the Japanese players into a little bit faster of a pace. The Japanese really like to set their pace slow and play methodical. And we saw that in the previous game that the Rollers have played against the Japanese. Ryo Fujimoto, when he came on for the last quarter, kind of put on a show and really set that tone. And he will be, I imagine, one that the Japanese will want to build around for the second game. But I would be looking for the Rollers to kind of set that pace early, get their high press involved really quickly. They like to play a defense that's incredibly high involved press, or if anything, they'll relax to the half court and then make a line at that stage. And it's a product of the team that they've brought here. Obviously, they have, I think, 16 players that they can choose from, and then 12 suit up for each game. And they have the benefit of a lot of speed, a lot of youth in this group as well, with certain players that will form the squad for the Rollers that will go away later in the year, not being here at this time. So a couple players have kind of moved into this space and really taking this chance to prove themselves as well.
Yeah, just on that note, we'll see Stephen Elliott for the first time in the Rollers 4 games tonight. He will start the encounter for Australia in number 6, along with Tom O'Neill-Thorne, Phil Evans, Jordan Bartley and Jeremy Tyndall. For the Japanese, it'll be Takamatsu, Furusawa, Kashi, the ever-present point guard, Miyamoto and Kai Akita. The 3 officials just supervising the last stages of the warm-up. And for tonight's encounter here, Australian time, they're Kathy Hay, Josh McWatters and Ty Hodges. Australians just heading to their bench. For anybody that's not aware, this is the last game on the second day of a 5-day extravaganza of wheelchair basketball here at the Australian Institute of Sport. 4 of the teams that have qualified for September's World Championships in Ottawa in Canada are here. The Japanese and Australian teams, having qualified, finished first and second in the Asia Oceania Championships. Australia managing to beat Japan in that final. Another close encounter, one very typical of the matches between the two squads, 62-57. That game in Bangkok back in November 2025. By virtue of being the home team, Australia able to bring 16 players you would have seen in their team list into this event. Hence, you can see it looks like a small sporting event, their pre-game huddle. A number of coaches, assistant coaches, and Basketball Australia running their coaches convention here at this venue over the last couple of days. So an opportunity for development coaches and pathway coaches in the sport to experience some of the high performance atmosphere firsthand. We're certainly taking advantage of that. Their officials just going through their last discussions. Looks like somebody's told a bit of a joke there. they'll be ready to go. You'll notice the WBA on the back of their singlets. That's Wheelchair Basketball Australia, who are assisting Basketball Australia in the production of this event. Of course, the National Wheelchair League, all of these rollers will be involved in. That first round gets underway next weekend. Typically effusive cheering from within the team huddles, trying to get themselves ready to play. It's Japan in the red uniforms with the white numbers. They'll be going from left to right. Campbell, we've yet to see Stephen Elliott. Every other one of the 15 players Australia had brought to this event featured up until now. Is that a tactical substitution or something he's been dealing with?
I suspect it's just a product of wanting to utilise certain players that they've brought in. Stephen Elliott is quite comfortable in his place in the rollers, or certainly is not contested too hotly for his position. He plays a very specific kind of playmaking speed role, and it's really exciting to see him start here and see what he can set the pace as for the Australian rollers.
As we're underway, Japan with the first possession. Furusawa kicks it across to Akashi. Akita. Back to Furusawa. He looks inside, his pass goes astray. O'Neill Thorne with the first possession for Australia. Cross baseline, Elliott the screen. Catches Akashi. Evans comes out of his chair trying to make that layup. No call. Furusawa, blinding speed in the chair. He's demonstrated that several times already this weekend. Akita draws the contact from Stephen Elliott, makes the layup, and we'll have an opportunity at a three-point play.
And that's the kind of play that Stephen Elliott brings onto the defensive side. He may draw a foul, he may draw a couple, but really bring that energy, forcing that shot to be quite a difficult shot to put up. He likes to bring that energy and that dive. He's willing to put his body on the line.
As Peter converts the three-point play, Australia will try and get into their first half-court set. O'Neill Thorne, good by Akashi. Skips inside, lovely slip. Shot falls. Expertly run there. Bit of deception. Jordan Bartley able to creep in with a back cut. Akashi off and rolling. Furusawa catches his own wheel. Manages to recover. Akashi looks inside. Akita, a couple of shot fakes, rolling backwards. Can't get it to go. Miyamoto, the offensive rebound. Bank shots up. Takamatsu. That's off. Evans hands off to O'Neill Thorne. Shot up inside from Elliott. A big touch on the outlet. Akashi probing. Goes left, comes back to his right. Furusawa. Akashi. Takamatsu. Off.
And that's the second play for the Japanese, trying to get that outside shot for Takamatsu, and just not finding his line. I think they've got to switch that up, just get the scoring continuing and kind of draw out that lead before they keep setting for those outside shots.
The three's good. A despairing lunge from Furusawa was not enough. Ball will stay with Japan. Akashi to inbound. Gets it back. Furusawa. That's wide open. Baseline. Bartley hands off to O'Neill Thorne. He uses the Elliott screen. Evans dives baseline. Elliott does as well. He's prevented from catching that pass by a stray hand. O'Neill Thorne off the inbound, launches a three, that's off. Kashi, Akita, Furusawa's three is off. O'Neill Thorne calling a play for Australia. Lovely back cut. Jordan Bartley almost going too quickly. Turns it over. Outlet for Furusawa. Close tabs on him. He's so quick in the chair. Skips it back to Akashi. Akita finds a shot he likes. Rolls into it. Harams away. O'Neill Thorne now. Ball's been in play without a score for quite a while now. Just racing from end to end. O'Neill Thorne looks at three. Boom! Probably the first clean look he's got. He's been, let's say hot and cold, but really can catch fire for short periods. Furusawa switches hands, drives middle. Akita uses the screen. Goes straight on this time, no glass. Manages to sink that shot.
And that's more what you'd expect from the Japanese offense. They're finally finding those shots. Obviously, they were getting in positions that they were really comfortable with before, which was absolutely not dropping, and finally finding a little bit of grace.
O'Neill Thorne manoeuvres around, finds another shot he likes. Over a despairing hand from Akita. Kashi left wide open. Defence seem to be worried about the pass to the wing on both sides. Can't continue to give him that type of latitude. O'Neill Thorne to Bartley, who's left open. Thinks about another three, having hit one already. Wheels back to the middle. Akita cuts him off. O'Neill Thorne fumbles. He's the man you don't want to fumble to. Furusawa just lightning in the chair. Bartley drives middle. Little fake. Runs a pass. Tyndall can't get it to go. Kashi cut off in the backcourt by Tyndall. Ball skips ahead. Furusawa. Kita looking for the lob pass. Takamatsu. Can't get it to go. Bartley, across to O'Neill Thorne, shot clock, sinks into single figures. Bartley goes middle, thinks he's found a seam, cut off. And Takamatsu, shot clock expires. We just might have to figure out if that caught a piece of the rim. I don't think it did.
That's really a credit to the Japanese defense. They're playing kind of a suffocating, fast-paced defense that the Australians don't currently have the size. They don't have Ben Moncrief on at the moment, and he is the big man that they want to be using inside. And the Aussies just not finding that role.
Shot clock an issue for Japan this time. That shot's off from Akita. O'Neill Thorne probing the other way. Kurosawa comes to deter him from a three-point attempt. Jordan Bartley. Back to O'Neill Thorne. Snap pass. Evans finds his way back to Bartley. He squares up his chair expertly. Can't get the baseline shot to go. Lob pass inside. Beautiful stuff. There's a look-away lob pass. Takamatsu, the pass courtesy of Akashi.
And Phil Evans just putting up his hand there, accepting that he was the one who made that little mistake on defense. And that's the thing at this level, you overcommit even the slightest little bit, and turning a chair it's a slow thing, even at the pace that they set in these games. And they'll capitalize on that.
Jordan Bartley wheels his way down the lane, finishes with his offhand. Kurosawa, left-handed pass to Akashi. Takamatsu. There's a little bit of contact there. I think Takamatsu might be almost as quick in the chair as Furusawa.
That's the strength of the Japanese. One of the things that they do really well, they don't necessarily look for that transition and that kind of scrappy play, but when they want to move and when they've found a position that they want to get to, they will drive, they will get there. We'll see that if and when Kozai comes on, he's kind of an expert in that field, the ability to move fluidly and that flexibility in his chair. It's something that they're very, very strong with and very confident at.
Ball's turned over. Ethan Laird on the floor for Australia with it. It's always a bundle of energy. Looks across. Put the first shot to go. The second one rolls off the rim for Tom Klein, who's just come onto the floor. Pass inside. Takamatsu's shot won't go. A couple of players on the floor. Luke Popel inbounds the ball to Laird. Opportunity for Australia to run something in the half court here. About a 6-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Tristan Knowles onto the floor for the first time. A lovely wraparound pass. Phil Evans unable to finish, unfortunately, but Japan throw it away. Australia with a chance for the last shot of the quarter. They trail by one. Ball back to Knowles, handoff. Laird drives baseline. Bench helps him with the countdown. Ball back to Knowles. Measures it. Can't get it to go. And that'll do us after one quarter. Japan holding the slenderest of leads, 13-12. And we'll be back after this break.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Welcome back to the Australian Institute of Sports Centre of Excellence for Basketball Australia's The Rollers vs the World Challenge. The last game on a 4-game slate on day 2. It's a chilly Saturday evening outside here in Canberra. Winter has already well and truly set in. No such problems weather-wise inside the AIS. Australia trail by the single point in a match that's been a bit of an arm wrestle to date. Tristan Knowles, Ethan Laird. Knowles back to Luke Popel. Shot fake, drive. Shot clock starting to be an issue. Popel lines up a shot. Offensive rebound and put back by Ethan Laird.
That's a really nice offensive set from the Australians, really allowing the clock to come down as much as they want with all of those reversals and just waiting for that open spot. And Ethan Laird being probably the shortest on the court at the moment, just finding that little slip as the Japanese defense really had to pull inside as so many characters were flying in.
Peter down the other end, rolled into a 3-point attempt, unable to get it to go. Australia, chance to extend their advantage. Tom Klein inside, looking a little unbalanced, but a great pass from Knowles led him to the basket. Takamatsu out of his chair. And Mariuma on the floor for Japan. Takashi, calm as ever. Kawahara gets a pass off. And find another 2. Knowles probing. Akita shimmies back in his chair to cover it. Out to Luke Popel. His three's off. Akita catch and outlet in one motion. Outstanding. Just a touch long. Even the long arms of Takamatsu couldn't quite reel that in and get himself balanced. Tristan Knowles looks at 3, that's short. Klein, the offensive rebound, back to Knowles. Thinks better about the 3 this time, looks inside to Klein, he fumbles it. Kashi looking to outlet. Japanese team generally expert at coming back to the ball. Create that target against pressure. Kashi goes glass.
I think that's what the Japanese need on their offensive side. That really quick shot to just bring back a little bit of their comfort. I know that the Rollers were getting on a little bit of a streak there and feeling pretty good about themselves. So the Japanese really wanting to bring back in that discipline, that control the ball, deck the ball, and look for an easy score.
Knowles drives middle, Popel off the Knowles pass, goes Boone. With Popel positioning himself expertly there. Away from the action, shot clock was running down, Knowles drew all the attention. Luke Popel was ready with the hands to roll straight into that shot. The Japanese will call an early timeout in the second quarter as a result. They trail by just 2, but really nothing in it apart from the 3-point shooting of Australia, just giving them that little buffer.
Yeah, that's exactly what Australia wants to put into place. They love their 3-point shots, and every game that they've played across this weekend so far, they've gotten better at them, and really found their line a little bit more. And it does force the Japanese to kind of respond in kind, looking for those outside shots and also jumping those outside shots. And it's a difficult thing because the Australians are so adept at responding to that jump pressure. Especially Tom Klein's had a couple looks inside just because the pressure has been eking out, getting a little bit further and further closer to that 3-point line to stop the Australian the Australian rollers taking those threes. And he's really taking advantage of that. He's quite light in his chair and has quite the agility and that chance to get in as the three is going up, almost like a horn style play.
Yeah, Tom Kyle, the notional 5-man at the moment for the Rollers. Not your traditional post-up player per se. As you mentioned, Campbell, his agility and being able to slip to the hoop. And straight away, the Japanese respond in kind. Murakami's been on the floor for about 10 seconds. He goes boom from 3. Didn't even really need to get the feel of the ball in his hands. Knowles, let's drive baseline. Hook pass across the floor. Laird, hard close out on him. Long 2. Akashi pushes ahead. Murakami, closely guarded by Popel. Exchanges passes with Akashi. Drives baseline, a little off balance with that one. Just the slightest amount of contact. Popel with a lovely in and away. Laird, there's a defender in front of him. Wheels back out. Knowles. Thinking shot, thinking pass. No, thinking neither. There's a fumble, but I think it caught a Japanese hand on the way through.
The Japanese were extremely lucky to put Knowles in that position. He's not usually one to make a fumble like that, and kind of an indecision. He's quite the veteran for the Australian Rollers, and just in a little bit of an awkward position. And he looked for his line, and he saw the streaker, but really couldn't find the pass to get there. And I think that he knew that line was getting cut off, and just the clock coming down.
Yeah, Brad Ness, there was a timeout just 90 seconds ago, but he must have seen something he didn't like there, because he's called a timeout instantly. And in this style of tournament, coaches are probably a little more liberal with their timeouts. Once it gets to the nitty-gritty of tournament play, the World Championships, they'll be jealously hanging on to those to try and manufacture some end game scenarios. Each team allowed 2 in the first half and 3 in the second half of IWBF championship events.
I have to point out I love the on the side of the Japanese bench, Kosai with drink bottles in place of his feet that he doesn't have, and utilizing the chairs, getting around his team, and just being a bit more useful while he's on the bench.
Yeah, versatility. Not sure if the Australians realised, or maybe they did, and that was the genesis of the timeout, that the shot clock was extremely short there. Anyway, Japan back with it. Akashi. Here's a 2-point shot that he likes but can't make it. Luke Kopel, the rebound for Australia. Laird flares away off the Klein screen. Back in the paint, he'll have to get out of there. Klein drops it off for Laird. A shot he can make. Doesn't on this occasion. Tashi for Japan. Screen from Mariuma. Murakami, I beg your pardon. Ball gets to the weak side. It's another 2. Japanese shifting the Australian defence from side to side as we see Tristan Knowles take a tumble. One of the quickest pop-ups ever.
I think that foul lucky to only be a push on the defensive side for the Japanese. It was very much ahead of the play and not too much contention for the ball. I imagine that there was a thought that a pass could be coming in, and especially with Tristan Knowles sitting on that mismatch, and I imagine that's why the foul was drawn, just to slow that play down. But a little bit of a lucky turn out there.
Laird draws a little bit of contact. Mariuma raises his hand to indicate it was his foul. Back to Knowles, to Laird, drives baseline. Cut off by Murakami. That's a little bit of space. Kawahara comes to block that. Laird gets a little creative and manages to draw some contact from Murakami. Just extended his arm there and waved it around a bit in front of the defender, who couldn't resist. Looks like we'll see some sort of pressure here. Tristan Knowles in the lane. But there's no make. Tristan Knowles somehow gets hold of the offensive rebound. Klein, back to Knowles. Drives middle, takes a little bit of contact. Popel, shot clock running down. The bench helping with that. Ethan Laird looks at 3. Hits every part of the rim, the backboard, the side, and goes down.
I think the Australians really needing that to go, and potentially the net itself wanting to make them earn that shot. And they really need something to kind of bring them back into action. And Ethan Laird is very much a player that likes to play with confidence and likes hitting those shots and moving off them. So a really exciting kind of change of pace with them.
Kawahara unable to convert the other end. Drager with the ball, chance to push ahead here. Knowles drives middle, cut off. Laird spins around, back to Knowles. Drives middle again, back to Laird. He's left open, looks for 3. Boom! Maybe the last one was exactly what Ethan Laird needed, and the Japanese have seen enough. They want to call the timeout. With about 3 minutes remaining, we haven't really seen Ethan Laird catch fire as we know he can from the National League and the junior programs to date at this level, Campbell.
Yeah, this is exactly what we've been looking for him to do and kind of reach in this in the Rollers squad, and be that kind of that fast-paced option, and especially that outside option is really showing himself. This is kind of almost reminiscent of the last game that we saw again with Italy against Spain, and on Rubio becoming that outside shot that the response to that outside those 3-pointers really becomes an important thing. And I suspect the Japanese might actually look for a press here, because they know that they've been struggling on that 3-point defense, and whether they'll just look to look for an 8-second violation rather than allowing any shot to go up, because at this point it's looking like the Australians can make a shot from anywhere.
Yeah, it's an interesting conundrum for head coach Brad Ness when it comes to selecting a team. You'd presume that O'Neill, Thorne and Knowles would be the logical starting backcourt. And it's a question of what other types of versatile pieces do you want to take in those guard type spots. Anyway, Japan back with the ball. Kozai, a man we haven't seen anything of tonight, is on the floor. There's a strange looking pass, but it found its mark. Mikazuki draws some contact in the shooting motion. Second one's off as well. Jordan Bartley back on the floor for Australia, along with Tom O'Neill-Thorne. Throws a nice little shovel pass inside. Beautiful stuff. Evans manages to finish that. Kozai coming the other way. Sees an isolation inside. That's good, Mikazuki. Evans probing the left wing. Kicks it across to Bartley. He uses the screen from Sam White. O'Neill-Thorne wedges his way inside and scores. In fact, it was Knowles. Two similar hairstyles. Akashi. Mikazuki. Back to Kozai. One hand skip pass. Mariuma looking inside. The ball comes back to him. He decides to shoot. Bartley the rebound. With a chance to build on this 5-point lead. It's just gone a little dry offensively. O'Neill-Thorne weaves, switches hands. There's a peculiar underhand flip pass across to Bartley. Gets it back. Thinks shot clock running down. Evans gets down the middle, draws some contact from Mikazuki.
I think that's an unfortunate foul to draw. Phil Evans was in a pretty uncomfortable position to shoot if the hand had just stayed up in his face, and eventually just looking for a little bit more pressure, trying to tap the ball away, and that foot plate coming in just a little too strong and drawing that foul.
Evans makes the first. Getting some instruction from the coaching staff on the bench at what comes next. The waning stages of this second quarter, but he keeps his concentration and makes the second. Australia out to a game-high 7-point lead. Takashi to Kozai. Uses the Mariuma screen, drives baseline, gets around. It's a delightful bit of spin on that layup. Tom O'Neill-Thorne. Uses the Evans screen, looks at three. Boom! Can't go under those. Kashi left wide open. It's surprising he missed that one. Australia can hold for the last shot now. Knowles just making sure everybody's aware of that. Bench counts down in the background. Knowles kicks to the corner. Cutter. Evans finishes. Fantastic finish to the first half by Australia, and they lead by 10 heading into the long break. And we'll be back shortly.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Everest Active 4x4. Value packed with 12-inch touchscreen, black exterior styling and 18-inch alloys. All from just $60K drive away. Get the Everest Active at participating Ford dealers.
I was really lucky to cross paths with wheelchair basketball when I was 15 years old. I fell in love with the sport.
I was doing horse riding and I wanted to play a team sport, and my mum came across wheelchair basketball and I just grew to love it. My muscles have grown stronger, so I'm able to do a lot more things now because of basketball. Yeah, it's just helped me a lot in life. I would love to play at the Brisbane 2032 Paralympics and represent the country.
I wasn't 21 until I made my first Australian team, so you've got plenty of time. The most important thing is that you just enjoy your basketball.
By rolling out the start line, we want to build a framework where anyone that wants to become involved in parasport can find and navigate their way through to the opportunity that's local, that suits their needs.
Parasport's the best. You meet people that are just like you.
Times can be really tough. You're going to have some really frustrating days. It's okay to ask for help, but I promise you things do get better, and Paralympic sport can play a huge role in that.
Have a go. When we move out of our comfort zone, we surprise ourselves.
Not in my wildest dreams did I imagine that direction my life has taken, and I'm extremely thankful for it.
Just try it. You'll just grow to love it, and you could probably play for your country.
Hey everyone, I'm Tommy Neil-Thorne. Tune in this weekend as the rollers take on the world.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Ranger Wolf Track V6, featuring bold styling, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres, all from just $73,000 drive away. Ranger Wolf Track at participating Ford dealers while stocks last.
Welcome to this very special occasion, a celebration of the 2000 Australian Paralympic team.
It's so great just for everyone to come together and reminisce, and it's like a massive reunion.
To be here with everyone's just so special. It makes me almost cry with joy.
So wonderful to be back here after 25 years. So many people that got to share such unforgettable memories because it was the first time we had the Paralympic Games in Australia.
We all have a bond that can't be broken because we all experience something that is a part of our lives.
All of what we're here for, we have to develop the athletes, the kids with disabilities, to believe that they can achieve.
Sydney 2000 showed that the Paralympic Games can be as good as a host city chooses to make them. It filled stadiums, it filled arenas. It set the benchmark for the athlete experience.
Sydney 2000 changed everything. Let's just take the Paralympic movement to a place where it had never been before.
People with disabilities can, and I think Sydney said to us, we can.
Australia changed the face of Paralympic sport forever, and I couldn't be prouder.
My favourite memory from the Sydney 2000 Paralympic Games was actually carrying the torch into the stadium for the opening ceremony of the Games. Before I was about to carry the torch, there was going to be 2.2 billion television viewers.
The advice to the athletes is seize all the opportunity you have. The athletes that assembled here today are an example of the hard work and the legacy that can be left by a group that's come well before you. The best way that you can honour, respect and thank the past is to make sure you take care of the future by working hard and embracing every opportunity that you have at the moment.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Get what you really want with the value-packed Ford Ranger Black Edition 4x4 with bedliner, 12-inch touchscreen, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres. All from just $53,000 drive away. Get the Ranger Black Edition at participating Ford dealers.
Wheelchair basketball emerged shortly after World War II after it was developed by injured servicemen. It became a foundation Paralympic sport at the 1960 Games and is now one of the world's most recognisable wheelchair sports. Athletes who play wheelchair basketball have a physical impairment. All players use a wheelchair to compete, although some don't use a wheelchair in everyday life. The court dimensions and basket height for wheelchair basketball are the same as the able-bodied version of the sport, as is the playing time and number of players on court. Wheelchair basketball classifications range between 1 and 4.5 points. Players with a classification of 1.0 have the highest level of impairment, while players in the 4.5 point class have the highest level of physical function to be eligible for the sport. The wheelchairs used during a game are specially designed to support players and help them move around the court. During a match, the classifications of the 5 players on the court are added together and must reach a total of no more than 14 points. The object of the game is to score the most points in the opposing team's basket. The team with the most points by the time the clock expires wins. Wheelchair basketball is a contact sport. The sport is so fast that it can be difficult for athletes to stop in time, meaning contact is inevitable and can result in some spectacular collisions. While contact is permitted and even encouraged, head-on collisions are strictly forbidden and can result in fouls or even ejection from the game. For more information on wheelchair basketball, visit paralympic.org.au.
Welcome back to the AUS Centre of Excellence for the second half of this game between Japan and Australia at the Rollers World Challenge. Some highlights from the first half in which Australia's been pretty dominant, courtesy of their three-point shooting. Campbell, 6 of 10 from that part of the court.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's become the signature that they're really running with, especially with the team that they've suited up today. They're really looking for those outside shots and seeing what flexibility they have in the way that they run those. Not necessarily those shots, although obviously 6 of 10, they're pretty happy with that, but also how they play out of those shots and the options that they put themselves in if they need to put up those shots late in the game, as well as how they respond with drawing defense out. As we've seen, the Japanese defense has had to pull out a few times, and as we see there, people like Tom Klein have been able to capitalize on that defense kind of becoming a little bit lax in the fact that they have to jump and they kind of put themselves in worse positions and open up that driving lane.
Yeah, certainly a different style, but as you say, probably a little lineup dependent. Just looking at the raw numbers there, Japan with a greater number of 2-point successful field goals, 11-8, but the 6-1 advantage in made threes very much in Australia's favour. We're back. The action here. Just a little bit of a technical glitch we apologise for. Just a little bit of Japanese action there. We've scored the first 4 points of this second half. That shot from Kawahawa is off. Luke Popel the rebound. Jordan Bartley kicks it off to Tristan Knowles. Manages to split the double team. Back to Bartley. Shot clock becoming an issue. Ethan Laird left with not much to do but heave it. He goes one hand Hoyt. Doesn't catch any rim. Japanese will play on. Akashi. Takamatsu. So quick down the floor. Flips out of his chair straight back. He's desperately trying to get back in transition defence. Bartley. Ball inside to Popel. Just a little head signal to Knowles to go that way. Back to Popel. Can't quite finish. Frank Pinder down there, shooting through a sea of arms. Mariuma. Kozai. Frank Pinder all over him, screened off. Kicks back. Matsuyama. Mariyama.
It's really difficult defense for the Australians to play. It's a really unfortunate thing. Trying to play that pace and trying to play speed and swap onto shooters. We saw Frank Pinder being absolutely at speed, but unfortunately the Japanese offense just really splitting up the defenders.
Tristan Knowles in for a quick pit stop. Let's get something going on with one of his wheels. The Australian mechanic. Deal with that. Flips it off. Has a look at it. Quizzically. Officials hold up play. Tom O'Neill-Thorne will take his place. Inbounds the ball. Last Japanese shot. Mariuma, of course. O'Neill-Thorne skip pass. Jordan Bartley drives baseline. Cut off by Takamatsu. Back to O'Neill-Thorne, looks at three. Evans does a great job to reel in the rebound. Takamatsu. So quick. Almost too quick for his own good there. Bartley inbounds to O'Neill-Thorne, gets it back. He'll initiate the offense. Ball skips to Thorne. Drives middle, cut off, no look pass, back to Bartley. Stephen Elliott. Back to O'Neill-Thorne, back to Bartley. Evans, middle. Jeremy Tyndall just couldn't quite handle the heat on that pass. We'll see a timeout to Japan.
I think that was actually a product of the Australians looking to reverse the ball a lot, get that movement going, and potentially getting a little bit ahead of themselves. As I think they were more focused on the reversals than the dive inside that they were creating, and that pass just coming in with a little too much pace.
Let's get a look at the Japanese huddle. A player we haven't seen tonight, Fujimoto, Ryo Fujimoto, who's been so impactful in restricted minutes, I think it's fair to say, but he's one of the senior or more iconic players in the side. That's not unusual. Japan having put together an 8-0 run to start this third quarter. A game that looked to be slipping away from them at half-time, just before half-time. We're right back in the thick of it now. Kashi gets us underway. Kozai, set play. Lob inside, seemed to be a little bit of contact.
As much as it's an annoying thing, I do like when referees make a point of saying this is not what we're gonna allow. We're gonna really give away a very good stuff.
Phil Evans good with 1 of 2 there. Australia would retain possession by virtue of the unsportsmanlike foul, bringing the double penalty of 2 shots and the ball. Jordan Bartley, back to Evans, to O'Neill Thorne, handoff. Bartley looks to drive baseline, cut off by Akashi. Back to O'Neill Thorne, curling into the 3. Boom. Really well worked play there. A little bit of deception on one side of the floor. O'Neill Thorne using the pin down screen, curling back. Pass was right on the money. Elliott left to guard Akashi. Bit of a cross match here defensively. Kozai. Back to Mariuma. Can't get that to go. O'Neill Thorne calling out a play for Australia. Bartley wheels off the other way. Tyndall looking to pick for O'Neill Thorne on the other side of the floor, and meanwhile an offensive foul against Australia in that maze of screening action there. Akashi for Japan, a distinctive headband. Kozai, the long black sleeves, equally distinctive. Ball kicks to the wing, shots off. And Kawahara. It was Mariuma again, just obscured slightly there. O'Neill Thorne, free throw line. Elliott tries the little sideways scoop, can't get it to go. 2-on-1 break for Japan, in fact turns into a 2-on-none. Takamatsu sails to the hoop. Hartley, Elliott, O'Neill Thorne. Drives baseline. Pretty rough and ready screen there from Stephen Elliott.
I think you have to assume that he knew that foul was coming, and just potentially a little bit of frustration. He's a fantastic player, but he likes to play a very strong game. He doesn't sit quite as high as someone in his class usually does, so he uses his speed and his agility to his strength, and potentially just getting ahead of him.
Kozai can't get that shot to fall. O'Neill Thorne wheels away. I think there might have been half an opening for him. Jordan Bartley drives baseline. He does find an opening, leaves that shot short. Akashi streaking the other way. Takamatsu running the lane. Can't get it to go, be disappointed. Kozai manages to pick up the offensive rebound. Couple of fakes, wheels back around, thinks better of it. Almost shakes the defender. Beautiful pass back to Kawahara. He makes that. Jordan Bartley. Plenty of time at the guard spot. This game. Working in tandem with O'Neill Thorne. Wheels back around, drives middle. Looking for the roller. Just wasn't quite there, but a bit of contact on that roller.
And I actually really like Jordan Bartley in this kind of point guard role. He's a high point player, but he's very fluid in the way that he plays. This is more what the rollers are playing towards in their lineup today, and it really is towards his strength. His kind of playmaking and his decision making is really strong. And I think that's something that they're looking to build in him throughout these games. Obviously, these games are really important for players to develop, especially against incredible international talent.
Luke Popel drives down to the elbow. Kicks back to Tristan Knowles, who's on the floor. He tries to get the pass over the top. It's deflected. Back to Ethan Laird, who goes boom. He was just in the right place at the right time. Akashi for Japan. Takamatsu cut off. Back to Akashi. Kozai working the other wing. Likes the look of that. And that's why. Knowles calling out the play. Laird uses the Klein screen. Knowles drifting out wide, gets a little bit of a bump, tumbles out of his chair, no call. Laird has the ball, shot clock pressure an issue. He wheels back around, looks at three again. Just a little short this time. And hanging around. Kozai with the ball now, guarded by Laird. He shakes him. Knowles comes to help. A touch over a minute remaining. Ball flips back out. Akashi back to Kozai. He looks at three. That's short. Popel almost reeled in the rebound. Eventually finds its way to Knowles. He checks the seams. His patented way. Kicks to Laird. He thought of a threes denied there. Back to Knowles. He's equally guarded. Looks at an elbow extended too, and makes that.
And that's a really nice little play from Tristan Knowles there. Kind of pump faking that three a couple times, and then drawing that defense just to get in a little bit of an awkward position, take that one roll inside and sit on the elbow, and that's almost the same shot, but much easier.
Japan did have a chance to go 2 for 1. They didn't really get into their offense early enough. Australia can now run the last shot of the third quarter. Led by 10 going into this quarter. They lead at 5 now. This is the 8th game of 5 days of basketball here at the AIS. This Popel gets inside and just can't get it to go, and Kashi content to hang on to that one. So as we head towards the last quarter, it's Australia 45, leading Japan 40. And we'll be back in a moment.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
Hey everyone, I'm Tommy Neil Thorne. Tune in this weekend as the rollers take on the world.
Welcome back to the AIS Centre of Excellence. It's the last game on the second day of what's already been an enthralling tournament, the Rollers against the world. The Rollers, Japan, Spain and Italy, 4 teams heading to the World Championships in Ottawa, Canada later in the year. Taking the opportunity for 5 days of intensive training, basketball, scouting and team activities, and certainly no shortage of games. The teams played 2 games on Friday. This is the second game for both teams today. They'll play another 2 tomorrow, and a single game on Monday and Tuesday. Australia in the gold uniforms, Japan in the red. Australia led by 10 at halftime. Their advantage just 5 at the moment. Tristan Knowles with the ball for Australia. Gets things underway early. Shot wouldn't quite go for Phil Evans, nor would it go for Klein, Tom Klein. And catch a break there. Putting up 2 quality looks inside Kozai. With the ball for Japan. They try to get organised. He thinks about 3. Head fakes. Back to Akashi. Shot clock becoming an issue. Mariuma's shot was, and it was a shot, almost became a pass. Takamatsu finishes. Popel with the ball for Australia. Skips across to Knowles. He finds a cutter down the middle, Phil Evans. He looks up, hopefully at that, and it does tumble.
And that's what Phil Evans has been looking for a couple plays now. Really trying to find that drive. He's being left alone a fair bit on the offensive side and finally able to get the points.
Kozai misses a 3 for Japan. Knowles pushes ahead for Australia. Head fake, getting in the lane. That's been a really effective offense for him. He's got that little zip of acceleration. It puts the defenders off balance. Japan decide there's only been about 80 seconds of action. They want to talk about things. Head coach Kazuyuki Koyoya. See him in the centre of the huddle. Always a calm figure.
That's one of the things of the Japanese huddle and just the Japanese style of play. They really stay disciplined. They don't get kind of in each other's faces. I don't think I've ever seen in all the games that I've watched of Japan playing internationally, they don't get at each other. They know what they're asked to do. They know what they're required to do, and if something doesn't work, they'll fix it up. And that's one of the things that keeps them in these games. That a couple other games that we've seen over this weekend have gone a little bit astray for other teams because they kind of let go for a split second. The Japanese really don't let that happen. They like to stay consistent. They like to stay within what they know they can do and within their range, and just look for a way forward consistently.
Just scanning through the stats here, Phil Evans has played a mountain of minutes, 28 minutes, but he has been able to conjure up 9 points and 10 rebounds on the cusp of a double-double. Tom O'Neill-Thorne, the leading scorer for Australia at this stage with 11. And Yoshinobu Takamatsu with 10 for Japan leads that team. Knowles makes both those. Australia's margin back to 7. A little bit of backcourt pressure. It's a little fake. Japan would make an error. They don't. Murakami reels around. Kicks to Akashi. Akashi yet to be off the floor tonight. That gets down to the left-hand wing. The shot's good by Akita. Ethan Laird will look at that 3 if they're not careful, and they're not careful. This caroms off the outside of the rim. Murakami pushes ahead. Kawahara is trapped. Get some help from Mariuma. Murakami, shot clock's an issue for him. Kawahara neatly nails the mid-range shot.
And up until that last kind of couple seconds, the Australian defense being really, really strong there. Again, picking up that line quite early and forcing Japan into a really uncomfortable position.
Tristan Knowles answers for Australia. Officials determining Ball should come to the side. In fact, they've moved it ahead to the front court for Japan. Murakami thinks three. Popel arrives in time to deter him of that ambition, but he sweeps across the floor and goes boom from the other side. And back within two, they will not go away. Popel, hand off to Laird. Kicks to Knowles, drives middle. Thinks better of it this time, back to Laird. It's tightly guarded by Akashi. Evans in the middle, has to make another pass. Fine shot, hit the underside of the rim. I think he looked around at the officials thinking something might have happened there, but the Japanese turned it over on the way out in transition. Back to Knowles. He looks at three. A little long. A bit of a momentum breaker there for Australia. Murakami gives it up, gets it back again. Thinks three. Ethan Laird's there to deter him of that thought. But Akita takes a tumble as the officials issue a bench warning, I think, to the Australian bench. Just getting a little vociferous there, right in front of the play. Murakami wheels around. Almost caught the defence by surprise there. Manages to get his own rebound. Australia just a little at sixes and sevens there defensively. Ariyama's shot is off. Opal pushes ahead. Klein waits for a guard to appear. Knowles does. Opal wheels back and forth, almost has the space for a three there. He does. It's off. Hita the rebound. Murakami. It's open from three. Don't tell me. Ethan Laird just got a little too close there, and could see that happening. The bump will result in 3 free throw attempts. It's the first time we've seen that over the last 2 days.
I think that's a really unfortunate little foul for Ethan Laird to pick up. He was almost in front. If you gave him even a split second more to get to that defensive spot, I think just being on that move and potentially the contact came in as he was gaining position and wasn't set in it.
So Murakami with a chance to push Japan to the lead. For the first time since the first quarter. He's metronomic with those 3 free throw attempts. While that was going on, Australia did make a massive substitutions. Tom O'Neill-Thorne back for the last 5 minutes. Along with Jordan Bartley. Has the ball now, kicks it back to O'Neill-Thorne. Gets it back, Bartley, probably open for 3. The shot takes a bounce off the front. Kashi took an awkward fall there.
Bartley's shot, as much as he was comfortable in taking that shot, I think it was a little bit of a forced situation as he was about to roll into a player on the ground, and I think he wanted to keep the offense alive.
As head coach Brad Ness decides he wants to have a chat to his team. A large huddle of Australians gathers round to hear what he has to say about this last 5 minutes of play. Nothing startling in the statistical analysis that would tell you anything other than the fact that the game is very tight. Probably noticeably just the 10 turnovers between the two teams. But generally speaking, they've both been functioning quite smoothly. Just 16 total fouls for the game as well. Been by and large a very clean affair. Akashi now with the ball for Japan. The clock ticks under 5 minutes to play. Murakami. Something they probably drew up there. That ball back to Akita. Back to Akashi. Murakami. Back to Akita. Playing a little triangle. Launches something that he would normally make. Can't get it to go. I think Tristan Knowles was clobbered as he tried to throw that long outlet pass.
And I suspect from the from the reaction that we heard from the bench, that might be called non-sportsmanlike. I'm not quite sure.
As we can confirm that it was what the referees determined. Tristan Knowles will be all by himself shooting 2 free throws, and Australia will have the ball again. Some players find it hard to shoot in isolation with nobody in the free throw lane. Tristan Knowles is got a pretty steely concentration level. O'Neill Thorne into Bartley. Running the 3 guards together. Bartley with O'Neill Thorne and fantastic interchange of passing. O'Neill Thorne, that man, gets inside Evans with the great assist.
Evans really having that court knowledge to know that his player was coming in pretty at speed for inside the keyway right next to him, and almost not even looking as he hands off that pass.
Interesting lineup from Australia with Sam White in, the 1-pointer. Allowing them to play a different combination. Peter's shot is off for Japan. Australia sitting on a 3-point lead. Clock ticks under 4 minutes to play. 4th quarter. It's the 8th game of 2nd day of 5 days as Knowles looks at a 2. That's good. Now Japan want to talk about things. Australia, it seems like just a second ago they were down 1. They now find themselves up 5.
And that's really the flow that the Australians like to get into. Once they start hitting a couple shots, they'll start hitting a lot. And especially, I think that's a credit to their 3-point advantage, and the shots that they like to take from outside just really get them kind of into a better position to shoot. Not even necessarily making those threes, but again looking for inside shots and how they play off those. They're playing with a much younger and more agile kind of lineup in this game. But I like that they've made the decision to have that helmed by Tristan Knowles. He's probably the most experienced roller in this squad at the moment, and really utilizing him as a focal point, not only in terms of playmaking, but also just as the mentality and kind of setting the pace for how we're going to act in this game and how the rollers want to be engaging with the Japanese, because the Japanese absolutely don't engage, and we've seen that they don't like to get animated. They stay within their means, and potentially the Australians trying to bring that out a little bit.
Noticeable the Japanese huddle. Just watching there, very much a player-driven discussion there, and that timeout. Coach Koyoya happy to let the players try and work through things. Kozai back on the floor as I thought he might be. Being the real offensive spark. Having said that, he throws that one away. Bartley held up in the backcourt, manages to find Knowles, streaks ahead. He's got a sort of 2-on-1, draws a bit of contact, hops straight up.
I think he actually potentially didn't even draw contact and was expecting there to be contact as he tried to change direction a little bit too quickly. He's quite top heavy in the way that he sits in his chair, and I think that change of direction just threw his body weight against the ground.
Australia will retain the ball. Safety issue there with Knowles down on the ground. Might have been a fraction lucky. O'Neill Thorne looks at three. Almost. Such a smooth and simple shot. Almost expected to go in every time. Kozai. It's the seams lined up there. He was thinking three. Kashi couldn't catch that snaky bounce pass. It was just slithered along the ground. Bartley now runs a bit of a dribble weave with O'Neill Thorne. He's thinking, do I have a three-point attempt there? No, his pass is poked away. Also, I can't get a handle on it. Australia will retain possession. O'Neill Thorne can put a lid on this game at the moment. Leading by 5. Well over 2 minutes remaining. O'Neill Thorne looks at 3. Caroms off. A little growl of disappointment there from Tom. And have another chance to eat into the Australian advantage. Kashi. Takamatsu on the elbow. Kozai comes off a screen on the other side of the floor, gets to the middle of the paint. Akashi hasn't taken a shot for a while. That was short. O'Neill Thorne finds Bartley. He's facing the wrong way. O'Neill Thorne gets it over the timeline. Knowles avoids a couple of wayward hands. Try to knock that ball away. Drives middle, back to O'Neill Thorne, back to Evans. Somebody's going to have to shoot that. Instead they throw it away. Akashi. Good people in the crowd giving a few bits of advice. Kozai. Just hasn't found his range since he came back on. This is that one. Australia be happy enough, just time being eaten off the clock with neither team being able to score. Knowles looks to drive middle, weaves back to the left, goes right now. O'Neill Thorne, touch pass. Evans, sea of hands around him. Takamatsu, the rebound. And really need to score this time down the floor. Mariuma, Kozai. O'Neill Thorne's aware of the danger he poses. Takamatsu. Extra pass, Mariuma. Just won't fall. But there's Takamatsu with the long arms inside. What did Japan do here strategically? Just down the one possession, 3 points. And play it out and hope to get the ball back. Shot clock running down for Australia. Jordan Bartley wide open. Styles a little long. Japan lets that roll out of bounds, and I think they'll strategically that was the right option. Stops the clock. They can call a timeout. Advance the ball and try and design something potentially to look for a 3 here, Campbell.
Yeah, I think that's the option that they have to look for. There was a call out just then from the Australian side, no foul, knowing that's really the only option that the Japanese have at this point. They can look for a 3, but a 3 will only tie them up. And if they want a better option, they'll have to go to the line.
Australia does have a couple of fouls to give before they would be able to put Japan on the line for an attempt at 2 points. And of course, the endgame strategy of basketball, the idea of fouling to deny a team a chance to shoot a 3, can be fraught with danger. There's all sorts of theories about the pros and cons of all sorts of approaches. Fascinating to see what Australia does here, but this is one of the real values of these tournaments, a chance to look at these endgame situations, which is so crucial. Japan inbounds, ball back to Akashi. Kozai goes high, looking to get it back. Trapped up near the halfway line, not exactly where they want to be. Ball to Akashi. He looks down to the corner. Long two. That'll do us. That shot sails off. I don't think either team will be overly disappointed. Australia, after a 2-point win yesterday against Japan, manages to take a 3-point win today, 57-54. As the teams exchange greetings into the game. It's a thoroughly engaging affair there, Campbell.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way that these two teams play, and they really interact quite well. I think I've said this at every game that we've had with Japan, but Australia and Japan have a really good relationship in the wheelchair basketball. They're very well known to each other, and the Australian rollers just finding more of their line. I think every single game they've gotten better with those 3-point shots and their inside shooting. Actually, Japan having a better shooting percentage in this game. But I think that defensive side from the rollers is being a little bit too threatening and just not giving them the option inside. Also, notably for the Japanese side, Ryo Fujimoto did not play for this game. Whether that was a strategic decision, whether there's anything going on there, I don't know. But that is it's an interesting choice to me with the value that he has and that he adds and the experience that he has as a player. It's a choice not to put him on.
Yeah, so we get a look at the raw numbers there. Australia with the 8 3-point makes from their 22 attempts. Japan just the 2 from 7, but it shows again the stylistic differences. Australia, particularly with the lineups they put on today, happy to build a lot of their offense around some penetration and skip passing and 3-point attempts. Nothing much really in the rebounds or the turnovers. A pretty clean game overall between two very, very well-matched teams. And as for the Fujimoto question, I think when it comes to Monday and Tuesday, that's a few more chips on the table towards the end of the event. We might see a little more of him. As we watch some of the highlights of this second half, Tom and Earl Thorne caught fire a couple of times. Mariuma there. Kozai came and went. Notably, Akashi played the entire game for Japan. Point guard spot. I'm not sure if that one was a pass. Certainly a highlight of sorts.
And that's also a choice for Japan not to run Kozai as the point guard as often in this game. They chose to give him more of a break, and that's again, I suspect that is also just looking at their options, knowing that they're not playing for anything necessarily here, and really being able to use their bench, kind of push through their options to see what they can do.
As we see the Australians wrapping things up, that's exactly what we will do here. Thanks for joining us, the second day of 5 days. The games, incredibly, will commence again tomorrow, early in the morning, 8 a.m. Australian time, whatever time that is in your region. And we look forward to joining you then. But for now, it's bye from me and from Campbell Fraser.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.